Tea with me today brings you the IELTS listening session. Today, we are going to uncover and understand all the kinds of questions that you may face on the day of the exam. So, are you ready to finish this and get the band score that you need? Let's roll. Hello, guys. And here we are today to understand the kinds of questions that you guys are going to see on your IELTS listening sessions. But before we get to it, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our videos. And talking about questions and talking about listening, your IELTS presents 6 types of questions in the listening section. And the only way you can work with meaningful practice, which is practice with intention, is understanding the kinds of questions that you have ahead of you and practicing your strategies to understand and answer them better, accurately. So you are going to see questions about forms, tables, and summary completion, diagram or map labeling, matching, multiple choices, sentence completion, and short answer questions. So let's work with one by one with examples so you guys can understand and see what's ahead of you. The first kind of question that we have is form, note, table, flowchart, or summary completion. In this type of question, you will be given a form, as the name says it all, a table, or a summary, and asked to complete it by listening to a conversation between two people. Usually, the conversations here are hotel reservations, booking a hotel, booking a trip, signing for a course. It's the kind of listening where lots of questions are asked and lots of information are provided. Okay, so take a look at what you see here. The question with the form, for example, summarize the details in the recording, such as names, phones, numbers, and date. Pay attention to the fact that the label, the title of the exercise indicates the amount of words you can use. Here, in this example, no more than 3 words for each answer. And be careful with the amount of words in each space and the fact that, for example, under the label address, there are 2 spaces, 7 and 8. So you needed to bring 2 pieces of information from the address here. Be careful with that, with the division of your exercise. When you have a note, you have to summarize the specific and the detailed information in the recording. Again, here, they give you no more than 3 words as an alternative for your answer. Remember, you only listen once. So it's extremely important that you practice note taking. You need to be able to write down as many pieces of information as possible so that you can have all the information required when you answer the question. Also, it's important to note that capital letters or lowercase letters are possibilities for you, but you have to choose one and stick to it. And here I'm talking about the paper IELTS, okay? So if you decide to write in all capitals, you need to write all capitals throughout your exam. If you choose to write lowercase, you need to remember that names of cities, names of people require a capital letter, and that's important. It's important to keep your consistency when writing your answers. Now, take a look at a table. A table summarizes information related to some categories. For instance, place, the cost of something, the time, and a flowchart. A flowchart summarizes a process with particular steps displayed by arrows. Usually, a flowchart follows the sequence. The answers follow the sequence of the recording that you've just heard. So note taking, it's what is going to give you the amount of information that you need to answer the question. Pay attention here that they ask you to use no more than two words and or a number. So you can use one word, one number, one word and a number, two words and a number. Okay? And that's important to keep in mind. If you don't follow this when answering your question, your answer is considered wrong. Okay? Then we move on to the plan, the map, or the diagram labeling. There will be many places like hospital, factories, parks, libraries, restaurants, and your job is to listen to the recording. Look at the given map and label all the gaps in that map. This type of question aims at testing your ability to listen and imagine the map of a particular place. Therefore, guys, the ability to obtain the spatial language is absolutely essential for you as to complete this task, okay? What is spatial language? It's a means of representing objects and locals through verbal description. So you're going to need to understand the coordinates. You are going to understand the prepositions, indicate the things that are in front of, near, close to, behind, next to, things that are under, above, over. This is your reference languages. Okay, and you need to understand them when you listen, and you need to understand them when you write your answer. Okay, also take a look at this diagram over here. Diagrams will give you a description of something, the process, the operational process, the demonstration parts of a machine or phases of a process. Okay, the speaker in the recording will describe the diagram very clearly and logically, so that I believe it's pretty easy. I'm not going to say simple, but easy to understand. As a result, you have to keep track of what you hear, not what you think of from your own knowledge about the mentioned machine or process. Don't fool yourselves thinking that because you may know the information, you may have seen that before, you know how to complete the diagram. Focus, take a look at what you have, the task that you have ahead, the number of words that you can use, and focus on taking notes on the steps, the procedure, the parts of that machine, or the phases of the process that is being described. Okay? Then, of course, we go to matching. Here, guys, you are given a list of items from the audio, okay, and are requested to match it with a set of options. So matching is basically connecting letters to numbers. Pretty simple way to understand this, okay? The set of options might be criteria of some kind. So the questions will be sorted following the listening text order in the recording. The information part will be a list of answers to match. They are in a random position, not following any specific order. So again, developing your skill, your ability to take notes when listening, it's extremely important. This may help you save a lot of time. And of course, it's going to help you answer these kinds of questions more proficiently. You're going to have time to check your answers once or even twice. Then we take a look at the multiple choice questions. We can understand there are two kinds of multiple choice questions. We have the short answer. There will be a question and some answers for you to choose from. It's the kind of question that we are very familiar with already and represents not some level of difficulty in here. But again, we have to remember that we have two, three, or sometimes four wrong answers, and things that are presented as alternative may be mentioned in the listening, but they do not answer the question. Then the sentence completion, when you have under multiple choice, it's the beginning of the sentence followed by a list of three possible answers to complete. Basically, again, understanding well the sequence and the details here can also help you a lot. We have sentence completion. So here you have to read a list of sentences that summarize the main idea of the whole listening text, okay? And you have the gaps to complete using the required amount of words, okay? Or numbers in this scenario, the right number of words and numbers here. Again, sentence completion is a summary, so probably follow the sequence of the recording. And the short answer question. Okay, the short answer question, again, you have simple questions here that are based on what you've heard, and you have to read the instructions carefully because you will be penalized for writing more than the number of words given allowed in the text, in the exercise. It's common to think that because you have a short, you have a question, we can say an open question. Oh, I can answer the best way possible with lots of words so I can score more points. And the reality is, no, you are not going to score more points. You are actually going to lose. You're going to be penalized if you don't focus, if you don't pay attention to the amount of words that you can use. Again, guys, practice makes perfect, or the closest possible to it. The best way to improve your listening is by listening. You cannot expect to improve a skill without using it. So, your job is to listen as much as possible to a variety of things. If you have no idea on how to work with that, watch the previous video where I have started presenting the IELTS listening session, and I give lots of suggestions on how to organize your studies for the listening. And remember to get practice, the real practice, the sample, the mock tests. You find lots of it here on YouTube and on the internet, and practice the questions. So it's not only the question, okay, it's the content. It's about improving your vocabulary. It's about developing take note taking skills. It's about being a better listener on the language that you are studying. Okay, so that's it for today. Every Wednesday at 7 a.m., I have a new video for you guys here. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our videos, because together we go further.